before you know it, takes over the whole country. So I got this, I was reading it from something that popped up on my social media, L.H. Gray. A little bit of cursing here and there, but very strong. And I actually thought, man, this is going to be something I should probably read, because I think it's a thought that most of us are having, especially with the Great Awakening, realizing we've been told over and over again that a lot of the politicians, 95% of them, we were told at one point, are corrupt. Some of us sense that these senators, many in the House, remember we said many will resign. Of course, we follow the Q board and we see that these resignations will happen, and they have others that, you know what, they have to make decisions because their whole family's been blackmailed. So you can imagine the phone calls at 2 a.m. saying, you will not pass this, because if you do, we will do something to your family. Remember, we talked about things that happen to individuals, like in the state of Georgia. Do you guys remember that? Where we had Brian Kemp, all of a sudden was going to look into the elections, and all of a sudden his future son-in-law was blown to smithereens on the interstate. And then all of a sudden he got quiet. Well, Thune's going to let Dems kill the Trump-backed Save America Act next week. This is from the National Pulse. What happened? Senate Majority Leader Thune, Republican South Dakota, announced plans to bring the Save America Act, a voter ID bill, to the Senate floor next week, despite knowing that it will be killed without a talking filibuster. L.H. Gray, to the spineless in Congress. Listen closely, you marble-mouthed, donor-filleting invertebrates who dare call yourselves Senate Republicans. Katie Miller just dropped the unvarnished truth like a guillotine. Quote, if President Trump can risk his freedom fighting for you, Senate Republicans can risk long nights and weekends. Unquote. And here's how you sit, polished, perfumed, paralyzed, while the republic you swore to defend hemorrhages at the border, the bureaucracy, and the ballot box. Let us recount with the cold precision of a historian carving open the corpse of a betrayed empire exactly what Donald J. Trump has endured to save this nation from the abyss that you helped dig. 2 grotesque impeachments, fabricated from whole cloth by the same swamp creatures he pledged to drain. Pure theater, engineered to neuter the one man who refused to kneel. 91 felony indictments across 4 kangaroo jurisdictions. The New York hush money financed jihad, the Georgia RICO election interference farce, the classified documents entrapment trap, the January 6th Soviet-style show trial. All of it lawfare, not justice, designed to bankrupt him, cage him, and crucify his movements before the people could speak. Mar-a-Lago raided like a third-world dictatorship, gag orders, mug shots, trials deliberately aimed and timed to eclipse his campaign. 2 assassination attempts, one with a bullet grazing his skull, blood streaking his face, with Secret Service agents bled beside him, the second thwarted only by raw providence. Media bloodhounds baying for his head 24/7, painting him as everything from Hitler to a Russian asset, while the real predators, open borders, endless wars, cultural castration, devoured by the country he loves. He lost businesses, friends, privacy, safety, and nearly his life. Not for glory, not for money, for you. For the working stiffs abandoned by your bipartisan rot. For the republic the founders pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to defend. Words Trump has lived while you merely tattoo them on your sleeves for campaign mailers. And what do you offer in return, you psychological cripples? A masterclass in self-preservation masquerading as prudence. Your lizard brains, hardwired by decades of K Street capture, donor dopamine hits, and terror of the next primary, compute-only risk aversion. Cognitive dissonance, so profound, you've convinced yourselves that governing responsibly means slow-walking the very mandates Trump just delivered in a landslide. Extended sessions? Too burdensome for your delicate calendars. You'd rather perform midnight monologues for C-SPAN cameras than actually legislate like men who remember 1776. This is betrayal with a smile. You are not statesmen. You are psychological captives, Stockholm Syndrome wrapped in Brooks Brothers, terrified that matching Trump's sacrifice might cost you a subcommittee chair or a future lobbying gig. Trump risked prison, bullets, and bankruptcy to drag this country back from the cliff. The least you spineless reptiles can do is risk a few all-nighters and some weekend conference calls. Pass the bills, kill the filibuster, secure the border, defund the deep state. Time to bleed for the republic that you claim to love, or admit that you never did. That was put together by @Gray4626 on X. While we're watching all this play out, we had a video dropped again by Il Donato Trumpo. Pay close attention to some of the markers.